So we're going 2 powerhouses of 2025. Which one comes out on top? So guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are gonna put 2 irons up against each other that have been absolute beasts in the market in 2025. You've got the TaylorMade upgrade of the 790, which came out around April time, and you've got the new T250 from Titleist, which launched at around the open time in July. Now, Titleist have brought this iron, is a different name, T250 away from T200, different type of product. In terms of comparisons, we're going to test them with both the motor shafts in them. However, loft-wise on these irons, the Titleist the T250 is half a degree weaker. So both irons are designed for that kind of fast ball, off the face, launch it in the air, smash it as far as you can type product. Titleist are very, very particular when they upgrade a product, especially if they've got a little name change in there as well, that this product must perform. Now, we saw the benefits of T150 18 months ago when they changed that market up. They've now decided to do it in the T200 or 250 area as well. 790, not a lot to say about it. They've played around with the weight in the head, especially in the longer irons to help launch it a little bit more, but this is such a massive iron in the market. To mess around with it too much would be dangerous for TaylorMade. So a little bit of a facelift, a little bit of an upgrade, 2 brilliant irons. Let's see which one comes out on top. So let's jump on to the mat here at Milton Keynes and have a look. So first thing we'll always look at is the look. Now, they are, because they're so good and so similar, they don't look too different either. There's a sort of a duller finish to the 790, a little bit more of a chromy, brighter finish to the T250. In terms of look, you know what, there's just hardly anything in it at all. They look good from the back. I'll be honest, I think from a looks perspective, I think it'd be really difficult to pick one. I think you'd be, if you're interested, if it came down in a testing to these 2 irons, I think you would kind of be really, find it very difficult to pick it on look. So in terms of that, let's give it a draw on look. So let's hit some shots and talk about the feel of the product. So I'm going to start with 790. You'll see some videos that we've done, and I'm sure Chris will put them down in the comments boxes, that this is an iron that is very, very good and does perform. And what's interesting is in some of the verses or the head-to-head challenges that we've done, it hasn't always come out on top, but it is always up there and in the mix. So let's hit a few shots with 790. Feedback off of the poor strikes is always, you get something out of this iron, which is great. And obviously with its kind of better player sibling of the 770, that combo element of the P series iron has worked really well for TaylorMade. Better strike, a little bit more out there. What I would say with this iron in terms of the feel is it feels punchy. It feels like you know you've connected with it and it's going to come off quite fast, quite hot. Like that. Wow. A little bit of the lefts going there. It's just a solid product. Bit pulley in there again. Okay, so 790, very solid. It feels fast off the face. I guess that's what they're looking for. You're definitely going to get some power out of it. How does that compare to T250? So I mean, you could almost be hitting the same iron on that strike. Apart from the obvious little bit of change in look. It's very subtle, but a little bit more high pitched. Don't know if I like that or not. So close. Like, if you're looking at either of these irons, they're so similar. I think, let me just hit one more. Let me just try and, I think the main difference between the two is that this one is, the T250 is slightly higher pitched in terms of the sound off the face. And I think as you can gain the sense of feel from the sound, that the 790 definitely feels a bit more solid, a bit more punchier, a little bit more like you've actually hit something quite hard and firm. That sound there, I mean, it's different. Some people will like it, some people will hate it. I think for my preference, I'm going to sit with 790 in terms of the feel. So we've got a couple more to hit. It's good iron though, it's really good iron. It'd be interesting when we look at the numbers. Obviously, when I'm talking about the look and the feel of this, is very subjective. That click, that's the one that kind of puts me off, and it almost sounds uncontrollably fast. It sounds weird to say that, and quite a bizarre thing to say, but if I hit that on a golf course, I think I'd be worried that it's just got an extra 5 or 10 yards out of it and maybe have carried the green. So let's jump in and have a look. So for me, in terms of the looks, we're going to say both irons are very even. I'm going to give it a tie for the look. In terms of the feel, both feel very fast. Just that little bit of higher pitch sound from T250 just puts me off. So I'm going to sit with that kind of duller, more hit sound of the 790. So I'm going to give that to 790. So let's jump onto the numbers and see what they say. So when you jump in and have a little look at the numbers, let's see what they say. Now, we've hit a few shots with each, a couple of little pulls in with both. So a very similar spread of shots. Now, this is going to be odd to look at. In terms of ball speed, they are on average exactly the same number, 119.3, unbelievable number. In terms of the highs and lows, the tightness of T250, you had the bad strike at the beginning, which are kind of fatted, all the way up to 122 ball speed, or nearly 123 ball speed. Again, similar with 790, tend to fat the first one. After that, they're very similar, 16 to 24. So you do get, I did get a little bit more speed out of one that I ripped on 790, but overall, the average speed is about the same. So you've got to give that as a tie, that both clubs are producing similar, if not the same ball speeds. Carry distance, well, there's 0.3 of a yard into it. I think you could put that down to wind more than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to make a blind bit difference. So 171 yards of carry on both. Let's call that a tie as well. In terms of spin rate, I mean, there's nothing in it. There's 8, on average, there's 8. There's so little in this that in terms of the data coming back from both irons, it really is a tie. So if you are looking, even the land angle's the same. If you're looking at these two products, if it's come down to T250, 790, if you're getting similar data to this, I think you're going to end up coming down to what does it look like and what does it feel like for me? What's the feedback of the club? Now, for me, I gave it first over there. 790 wins and edges it mainly on the sound. That's the only thing that's edged it for me, is the sound of 790, that kind of more punchier sound that delivers a bit more feedback to me, and that's what my preference is. T250, however, is still a fantastic iron. We're not picking this iron based on data. We're purely picking it on the quality and the subjectiveness of your personal preference. So guys, it's a tight one. Price-wise, they're similar. Everything around these two products is brilliant. It's neck and neck, but for me, based on the sound of the product and sound only, 790 edges it. Guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope that was useful. Always difficult when you get two powerhouse products that, quite frankly, there isn't a lot to choose from. And I do like doing it when there's not a lot to choose from, because it shows that two brands can produce very, very similar products, and it will come down to a level of personal preference in the fitting bay when you are looking at them. So please jump in, test them. It'd be great to hear your feedback. If you've hit 790 or T250, are you feeling or seeing the same thing? Pop those in the comments box below. But remember, in the meantime, hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends.